The message came through at 11:14 p.m., right when I was starting to worry she wasn't answering. I'd called her twice already, then 3 times, and each one went straight to voicemail. I was pacing the living room, staring out at the quiet street, telling myself she was fine. She always texted back. Always. But that night, the silence stretched longer than usual, until the sound of my phone vibrating cut through the room. Her name lit up the screen. Relief hit me fast and sharp. I opened the message expecting something like sorry, phone died, or just got home. Instead, I saw words that didn't sound like her at all. Hey man, I got this phone. Found it. Think it's your girl's. I stared at it, confused. For a second, I actually thought it was a joke. I typed back quickly. Who is this? Where's my wife? The reply came almost immediately. Not sure. She wasn't alone when she lost it. My throat tightened. My heart started hammering in a way I didn't like. The room felt suddenly smaller. What do you mean not alone? I wrote. But this time there was no immediate reply. The typing bubble flickered on and off like whoever had her phone was hesitating, deciding how much to say. I sank into the couch. My mind raced ahead of me, creating every terrible scenario possible. She told me earlier she was going to a coworker's birthday dinner. Nothing big. Just food, a few drinks. I'd kissed her before she left, told her to text me when she got back. She'd smiled and said she would. I checked the time again. 11:17. She should have been home around 10. I texted again. Where did you find the phone? This time the answer took longer. Bar bathroom floor. Looked like she dropped it. I read it out loud to myself. Her phone might have slipped out of her purse. Maybe she didn't notice, maybe. But then the bubble appeared once more. She wasn't alone. Thought you should know. My stomach dropped so hard it felt like I'd been punched. I typed one more question. What does that mean? Then nothing. No bubble. No answer. No explanation. Just the cold glow of the screen and the thundering noise inside my chest. I sat there replaying his words over and over. She wasn't alone. With who? A coworker? A friend? Someone she used to know? Someone she never mentioned? The fear crawled up my spine slowly, like a whisper growing louder. I grabbed my keys. The bar she supposedly went to was 20 minutes away, but I drove faster than I should have, my mind flipping through every moment from the past few months. The nights she came home late from work events. The way she guarded her phone lately, flipping its screen down on the table. The excuses that didn't quite fit. The laugh she gave when I asked if everything was okay, too light, too quick. Maybe I should have seen this earlier. Maybe I did, and I just didn't want to believe my marriage could be cracking under me. When I pulled into the parking lot, it was almost empty. Few cars. A flickering streetlight. Music leaked out from inside, muffled and chaotic. I walked in, scanning the room for her. For anyone I recognized. Nothing. Just strangers finishing their drinks. I approached the bartender. Excuse me, I said. Did you see a woman here tonight? Dark hair, green dress, about this tall. I held my hand at her height. He squinted, thinking. Yeah, maybe. She was with someone. My pulse thudded. With who? He shrugged. Some guy. I didn't pay attention. Were they together? Like together? He raised an eyebrow at me. They were close. She looked pretty out of it when they left. I felt something cold coil in my chest. Do you know when they left? Maybe 40 minutes ago? Not long before closing. I nodded, swallowing hard. Thanks. I walked outside again, trying to breathe past the tightness in my throat. The night air felt heavy. I called her again. Voicemail. I texted her. No response. I didn't know where else to look, so I drove toward home, hoping I'd see her car on the road, hoping she'd walk through the front door and tell me everything made sense. Instead, when I pulled into our driveway, her car was already parked there. The house was dark. A strange mix of relief and dread hit me. I walked inside slowly, like the floor might give out. The living room looked normal. Shoes by the door. Her purse on the counter. The soft smell of her perfume in the air. For a moment, it almost felt like nothing was wrong. Then I saw her phone. Sitting on the kitchen table. Screen cracked from the fall. Messages still open. The ones the stranger had sent me. My heart tightened. She stepped out from the hallway, wrapped in her robe. Her hair was damp, like she'd showered. There you are, she said softly, as if everything was perfectly fine. Where did you go? I stared at her. The robe. The shower. The calm. You didn't answer your phone. She glanced at the cracked device on the table. Yeah, someone stole it. I told you. You said it was stolen, I replied slowly. But someone texted me from it. Her eyes flickered just for a second. What? A guy found it in the bar bathroom, I said. He messaged me. Told me you weren't alone. Her body stiffened before she could hide it. I watched the tension move through her shoulders, her hands tightening around the edge of her robe. She tried to compose herself, but the silence stretched too long. So, she whispered. So who were you with? She swallowed. A friend. What kind of friend? She looked away. Someone from work. You said it was a coworker's birthday. It was. I stepped closer. Why are you lying? Her breath stuttered. I'm not. You came home without your phone. Someone else had to tell me you weren't alone. And you didn't message me at all. You didn't even try. She looked up with eyes that were too glossy, too defensive. I was drunk. He walked me out. That's it. What's his name? She hesitated. Too long. Then, Ryan. I'd never heard the name before. Is he really from work? She nodded, but her lips were trembling. I stared at her robe again. The damp hair. The freshly washed skin. The smell of soap. Why did you shower the second you got home? I asked quietly. She exhaled sharply. Because I felt sick. Because I wanted to wash the night off. Her voice shook. She was unraveling, but I couldn't tell if it was guilt or fear or both. I stepped back, suddenly overwhelmed by the need to get out of the room. I can't do this right now. She reached for me. Wait, please. I pulled away. The hurt in her eyes made my chest twist, but the confusion and fear inside me were too much to hold. I need air, I said. She whispered my name, but I walked outside before I could hear the rest. The night was still. Too still. I leaned against the porch railing, trying to steady my breathing. The message replayed in my mind. She wasn't alone. What did that mean? What did the bartender see? What had she tried to wash away? My phone vibrated. A new message. Unknown number. My hand shook when I opened it. She left with him. I don't think she wants you to know. A chill ran through me so deep it felt like my bones turned to ice. My world shifted. Everything I feared was coming true, piece by piece. And I knew the night wasn't done breaking me. I stared at the message until the screen dimmed. My hand felt numb around the phone, like it didn't belong to me anymore. The street looked the same trees, the same quiet houses, but something inside me had split open. She left with him. I read it again, each word cutting deeper. I forced myself to breathe. Slow. Steady. Anything to keep my chest from tightening even more. After a moment I typed back. Who are you? What did you see? The response came fast. Just someone who thought you should know the truth. She wasn't acting like someone married. My pulse hammered in my ears. I swallowed hard and typed again. Where did they go? The reply took longer this time, and the wait felt like a lifetime. Parking lot. They got into his car. Gray sedan. Left together. That's all I know. I closed my eyes, letting the chill of the night press against my skin. A gray sedan. Leaving together. Her showering the moment she got home. The cracked phone she claimed was stolen. The lie about who she was with. The hesitation in her voice. All of it layered together until the truth became impossible to ignore. I thought about going back inside, demanding answers, pushing her until she said something real. But I didn't trust my voice or my restraint. I didn't trust anything. Not my marriage, not her words, not even my own judgment. My phone buzzed again. Another message from the same unknown number. If you want proof, check her messages. She didn't delete everything. A hollow sound escaped my throat. Not quite a laugh. Not quite a sob. Something between the two. I walked back inside slowly, trying to keep my steps quiet even though she already knew I was there. She was sitting on the couch now, hands clasped together, staring at the floor like it was the only thing keeping her upright. When I stepped into the living room, she looked up. Her eyes were red, either from tears or from panic. What happened? She asked softly. You disappeared. I held up my phone. Someone messaged me again. Her face changed. I didn't miss it. A quick flicker of dread. Like she knew the ground under her feet was about to give way. What did they say? She whispered. I didn't answer. Instead, I nodded toward her cracked phone on the table. Unlock it. She jolted slightly. What? Unlock your phone. She shook her head too fast. It's broken. I told you. It doesn't even. Unlock it. My voice came out tighter than I expected, but I wasn't shouting. I didn't need to. Every word felt sharp enough to cut. She stared at me, then at the phone, then back at me again. Her breathing sped up. Why are you doing this? Because someone saw you leave with him, I said quietly. Because someone knows more than I do. Her lips parted. The color drained from her face. I walked closer and set the phone in front of her. Unlock it. She looked down at it like it was a confession written in glass. For a long moment she didn't move. Then she took a deep, shaky breath and picked it up. The screen lit. Damaged but still functional. She tapped in her passcode. It unlocked. She set it down like her hands were shaking too much to hold it. I inhaled slowly. Give it to me. She hesitated, then pushed it across the table. I didn't dig through everything. I didn't need to. A few recent messages were enough. A contact named R. Several texts. Some earlier that night. Leaving now. He's not answering, so we're good. I'll walk you to your car. You sure? We don't have to stop here. My chest tightened so hard I had to blink through the blur. I looked up at her. She was crying silently. You lied, I said, my voice rough. You weren't just at a coworker's dinner. You weren't just with a friend. You didn't just lose your phone. She covered her mouth with her hand, her shoulders trembling. Say something, I whispered. Anything. She lowered her hand, but her voice broke when she spoke. I didn't plan for any of this to happen. I ran a hand through my hair. So it did happen. Her tears fell faster, and that was all the answer I needed. How far did it go? I asked, though part of me already knew I wouldn't like the answer. She squeezed her eyes shut. We kissed. A deep ache spread through my chest. And what else? I asked softly. She paused. Too long. Long enough that the silence itself became the truth. I exhaled slowly. I see. She reached toward me like she wanted to explain, but I stepped back. Don't. Her hand dropped. I wanted to tell you, she said, crying harder now. I kept trying to figure out when. But then tonight happened and everything spun out of control and I panicked and... Stop, I said sharply. Please. Stop. She swallowed her sobs. I'm sorry. I shook my head. No. You're sorry you got caught. That's not true. It feels like it. Her breath hitched. I didn't want to ruin us. I looked at her, really looked at her. But you did. The room felt smaller again, like the walls were inching closer. I walked to the kitchen, needing space, needing air. She followed but kept her distance. I swear it wasn't supposed to be anything serious, she whispered. I made a mistake. I was confused. I wasn't happy and I didn't know how to tell you that without hurting you. You still hurt me, I said. You chose him. You let him take you home. Whatever happened between you two, you chose that. It wasn't choosing him, she said, her voice cracking. It was trying to escape something I didn't know how to face. And what was that? I asked. My own unhappiness. I stared at her, feeling my chest twist. And not once did you think to talk to me? To be honest with me? To give me a chance to fix anything? She shook her head weakly. I was scared. So was I said quietly. But I didn't run to someone else. She crumbled at that, covering her face again, crying into her hands. I turned away, unable to watch. The house felt impossibly silent except for her sobs. I gripped the counter just to steady myself. I need time, I said finally. She looked up, eyes swollen. Please don't leave. I'm not leaving tonight, I said. But things can't go back to how they were. She nodded slowly, as if each movement hurt. I'll do anything. Right now, I said. I just need space. She didn't argue. She didn't fight. She just lowered her head and wiped her eyes, looking smaller than I'd ever seen her. I walked outside again. The night air hit my face like cold water. I sat on the porch steps, feeling everything and nothing at once. Inside the house, I heard her moving around, soft, uncertain, broken sounds. The same way our marriage now felt. I looked up at the sky, trying to steady my breathing. The world kept turning, quiet and indifferent. In my pocket, her phone buzzed again. One last message. I'm sorry you had to find out like this. I deleted it without replying and walked back inside, but I didn't go to our bedroom. I lay on the couch instead, listening to the distant sound of her crying behind the closed door. I didn't know what tomorrow would bring, but I knew one thing with painful clarity. Trust doesn't die in a single moment. It dies in pieces. And that night I felt every one of them.